Hi guys, my name is Bergen Hill, and today I'm going to be talking to you about gun violence. I hope with this presentation you can learn some ways to prevent mass casualties from guns and stop the spread of getting guns. So to start out, I want to give you guys a stat. 45,222 people died in the USA last year because of a gun injury. Now that number is incredibly high. And this is because of the accessibility of guns. People can get them too easily, use them too easily, and it's just such a problem amongst the USA. So I want to start by talking about school shootings. Everyone knows what a school shooting is, and everyone knows that is a very tragic problem. But 10 school shootings happened in 2020, 31 school shootings happened in 2021, and 54 school shootings happened in 2022. So we went from 10 school shootings to 54 school shootings in the midst of 2 years. And that number is even growing even more into 2023 and into 2024. Now it's growing because it's becoming an ever-growing thing, if that makes sense. So people are getting guns easier. People are hearing about school shootings, which is putting the idea in their heads, and it's just becoming a regulated thing, which is not a good thing. It should not be regulated. So I made this little chart right here. This shows how the school shootings are going up. We don't want this chart to be growing. We want this chart to be declining, or not even have a chart at all because they're not happening. Some further information about these school shootings. In 2022, 140 people were affected by a school shooting, 100 being injured, 40 being killed. 32 of those 40 people that were killed were children, people that were in these schools, students, and 8 of them were teachers. These teachers were protecting their students, trying to make sure they weren't getting hurt, and ended up losing their own lives. So how do people get these guns for school shootings? Because most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, it's a child that goes to that school that is doing these school shootings. So how are these children getting guns? 74% of incidents of firearms are used from students that have it in their home. Whether a parent has it, a sibling has it, a friend or a relative has it, they're getting it from someone they know, and they are using that gun to kill people or injure people. So almost 75%, 3/4 of people are getting it from their home. 1/3 of all households with kids under 18 have at least one firearm. So 75% of people are getting it from their family, friends, and 1/3 of people have that accessibility to do that, which links together so correctly in that we're just giving them the opportunity. If you have kids under 18 and your firearm is not locked away where they cannot get it, you are giving them the opportunity to take that gun and be one of those 75 people that shoot people at their school, which is horrible to say and a horrible statistic to even have to hear about, but it's true. There was a 64% increase of firearms during the pandemic. So in 2020, when COVID-19 hit, more and more people started to get guns, which is a scary statistic because that means more people have guns, more households have guns, more kids can get guns, more incidents can be caused. So the next thing I want to talk about is police shootings. We all know police have guns, and that's for their safety. That's for their safety and other people's safeties, to try to make sure that no one gets further hurt and if there was a shooting outside of a police officer. There is a continual commitment to using violence to control people and manage problems in this country. And as we keep giving police more money and more power, they will continue to see more police violence. So basically this is the idea that as we give more police and untrained policemen firearms, it will become a bigger and bigger problem, especially the more power we give them, which is a very controversial topic, so I'm not going to dive in too deep with that, but it's just an idea to keep in your head. In 2022, it was the deadliest year of police shootings since 2013. So a 9-year gap of police shootings, and 2022 was the most deadly of them all, killing 1,176 people in 2022. That's around 100 people a month or 3 people a day. So whether it is to save other people or save themselves, 3 people a day are dying because of getting shot by a policeman, which is kind of a scary statistic since policemen are supposed to be the people watching after us and having our best intent at heart. Another couple facts is 9% of people shot by police have a mental illness. So whether they are depressed, have schizophrenia, any sort of mental illness, anxiety, panic attacks, anything you could think of, 9% of people that get shot have mental illness, which is really sad because if you think about it, they could be having a moment where they're scared, they're anxious, they're having a panic attack, whatever the illness is, and they get shot because of that because it could be scary or intimidating to other people, and the police feel like they need to take control, and that might end up in them dying. 11% of killings, the person wasn't doing anything wrong at all, which is horrible to hear because that means 11% of those 1,000 people, which is almost 100 people, are getting killed for not doing absolutely anything. I feel like this relates tightly to the George Floyd problem that happened. Everyone is saying that he didn't do anything and that he just got killed. Whether that wasn't a shooting, it's just interesting to know and think about how that percentage of people didn't do anything wrong. 11% of killings just looked like they had a weapon. So this is a little sticky gun for kids, and I could be holding this and someone could think it's a real gun and I could get shot and killed, which is a very scary thing, as I've said a million times in this whole presentation. And lastly, 8% of people just had a traffic violation. So they were just speeding, and things can escalate quickly. I'm not saying this is all on the cops. Things can escalate quickly, but 8% of those people just got a speeding ticket, a parking ticket, some sort of ticket, and it escalated and ended up in them losing their lives. So I want to talk about some of the mass shootings. There was a mass shooting at Walmart in Virginia, a mass shooting at a gay bar in Colorado, a mass shooting on a hike in North Carolina, a mass shooting at a house complex in California, a mass shooting at a supermarket in Oregon, a mass shooting at a mall in Indiana, a mass shooting at a parade in Illinois, and a mass shooting at a medical center in Oklahoma. And this was just some of the other mass shootings that happened in just 2022 alone. So how do these people get these guns? At 18, you can buy a shotgun, a rifle, which is referred to as a long gun, and it can be bought with a background check, which takes 10 minutes, may I say, and cannot necessarily check everything to make sure you're perfectly ready to have a gun. And some states don't require a permit. Some states do and some states don't. That's depending on the state. But I could drive to a state that doesn't and get a gun, and just for being 18. At 21, you can buy any gun you want with a background check, an ID, and sometimes a permit. And background checks, although it does say if you have a criminal background, it doesn't check for everything, so this can't be like a firm reasoning to give a person a gun. And I want to tell you guys the reasons you can't get a gun because I think it's honestly comical. Some of the reasons you can't get a gun, which is a felon, which you would hope. 2, people who have been dishonorably discharged, people who are a re-announced citizen, fugitives, addicts, aliens, or domestic abusers. And that's the whole list of reasons why you can't get a gun, which should be longer than that. So what can be changed so that this is not an overgrowing problem? Rules on how to get a gun. It should be so much harder, so much more stickler. There should be more than just a background check on why you can't get a gun. So the rules of cops pulling guns, the rules of guns in households, the rules of how much ammunition you can buy, all of these things can be legally changed so that shootings and cop problems, all these things can be changed just by the legal rules. So you can vote on them, you can sign petitions, you can write letters to your Supreme Court, your House Court, the Utah State Legislature. You can write letters explaining how you feel. You could also start Instagram pages, TikTok pages, talking about the problems and how we can change them. So I hope by this essay, I hope by this presentation, you are able to gain some information on why guns are bad. Thank you.